God damn it, I can't believe we lost to the Good Brothers last night on Quizzlemania. Now I don't have any championship jam. The rest of the Authority won't look up to me if I haven't got title prestige. I need something else. Something else to stand out, show how muscular and dominant I am. Haha, of course, improving my posture to make my shoulders look broader. Now that the dust has settled from this year's WWE draft, we can be sure of two things. The format still doesn't make any sense, and WWE don't care about Andrade or Mickie James. They were the only two people that were part of the draft pools to remain undrafted, and not join a brand in free agency either. Mickie James was reportedly left out because of a broken nose, but there's no such excuse for Andrade, who actually wrestled on Raw, losing to Angel Garza before being beaten up by The Fiend. According to Wrestling Inc. though, the reason Andrade wasn't picked in the draft is because he's set to undergo a minor elective procedure soon, and is expected to miss about a month of TV time. And apparently, but take this with a huge pinch of salt alongside that tequila slammer, because not one person recently that Vince McMahon is high on backstage has done anything. The report adds Andrade is expected to receive a push when he returns, which PW Insider has reported that he'll stay on Raw. His real-life fiancée Charlotte Flair teased being his manager yesterday. Now Zelina Vega has been drafted to SmackDown, but she's not the only person that could help Andrade out on another brand. Andrade was originally in line for a renewed push on Raw while Paul Heyman was still the show's head booker. But since Heyman's firing there and consequent moving over to SmackDown, these plans were seemingly dropped for the much better storyline of losing to the Street Profits for 4 months. Without Heyman fighting his corner, Dave Meltzer has revealed Andrade can probably expect to get buried on Raw, as Vince never got it with him. Whatever he got was just remnants, because Heyman saw him in Mexico and Japan and thought he was top talent and got him as far as he could. There's a reason when Heyman was ousted, I told everyone Andrade was dead. Things are looking much better for Aleister Black, who was actually drafted to a show on Monday in the 6th round. After Titus O'Neil, god damn it WWE. Black was also one of Heyman's projects while booking Raw, but it's been reported McMahon was never a fan of his gimmick. Black was written off TV with a kayfabe eye injury and brought back as a heel with new music. Speaking to Sports Illustrated, Black shot on WWE Creative for not replicating his NXT success on the main roster. We moved so far away from what Aleister Black was in NXT that people started getting confused about what exactly Aleister Black was supposed to be. After a few conversations, I said I need a different direction. You don't have to agree with the motives to understand a character, but the motive had got lost for Aleister Black on the main roster. Someone else who's got a fresh start is John Cena, who secretly got married to girlfriend Shay Shiritsada on Monday, full on living the you can't see me gimmick. The couple have been dating since 2019 and had a private ceremony in Tampa, Florida, which sadly wasn't the Thunderdome. Now here's last night's AEW Dynamite reviewed in about 5 minutes. Thanks for your support on Patreon, Ronald Coleman, baby! To open AEW's first anniversary show, or in WrestleMania terms, its second anniversary show, the best friends got to brush FTR's greatness. FTR worked over Trent Beretta, including a rare huge German suplex off the top rope for Chucky T to hot tag in, tag out, and get Trent worked over again, which had a second comeback with an awesome crossbody counter off another top rope German. Trent then took working himself over into his own hands, diving headfirst into Kip Sabian's arcade cabinet in the crowd when Cash moved out the way. Best bachelor party ever, oh my god, the lols. Cash then hit Chucky T with the belt behind the ref's back for Dax to win this really fun match. Then starting the best friends' next feud seamlessly, the angriest man, Miro, avenged Kip's broken arcade cabinet and brutally beat them up. Best friends versus the best man, eh? Get it? And then he also squashed Sean Maluta and Lee Johnson in what I would call single-handedly, but that would be exaggerating how much of the accolade/game over Miro actually got on. He got that fire right back though, awesomely cutting a promo on Chucky and Trent saying, "Best friends, you broke my S-word." The tournament brackets for the AEW title #1 contenders tournament was announced, with Phoenix and Penta going against each other, dear God, and Kenny Omega and Hangman Page, who were missing from this anniversary show, on opposite sides, hopefully setting up a Page versus Omega final, further complicating their burgeoning bromance. Or feud. I don't know if they want to fight or F-word. Chris Jericho challenged MJF to a one-on-one steak dinner next week to discuss MJF potentially joining their inner circle. MJF and Jericho are great together, and the dynamic is made even better by the rest of the inner circle not trusting Friedman. Even when he finally got Sammy his jacket, it's not his fault it's way too big. In genuinely my favourite segment of the night, Tony Schiavone interviewed Britt Baker about her epic comeback in a spa, which included him getting his chest waxed 40-year-old virgin style. Because every title was on the line for the anniversary show, Cody defended his TNT title next against Orange Cassidy, now with original blonde flavour. This was the most I've enjoyed a Cassidy match since Pac at Revolution, perfecting the mix of low-effort mind games and really credible wrestling. This is what he needs to be for a while following the overly comedic Jericho feud. The match went up a gear following John Silver trying to attack Cody with the TNT title, a spot to transition into a really exciting back and forth second half, putting over how Cody is still dealing with his injuries from last week's Brody match. Cassidy's air raid crash on the apron was so good, you thought he was going to win, even rolling him up, but Justin Roberts called for the time limit draw just before the 3 count. A rematch was announced for 2 weeks' time. The TNT title schedule is very well laid out, with Darby Allin also being announced for a shot at Full Gear, who was shown watching on from the stands like Sting, social distancing before it was cool. Matt Hardy was in the crowd with his family, announcing he's finally cleared to return after that horrific Sammy Guevara match to be interrupted by Sammy Guevara. He revealed himself as Matt's attacker from several weeks ago, presumably setting up yet another match between them. Given the amount of times Matt gets legitimately injured with Sammy, I'm struggling to get properly excited about them wrestling again. The Butcher and the Blade, John Silver and Alex Reynolds get in Silver. Private Party and the Young Bucks were then announced for a 4-way tag team #1 contenders match next week. While it's seemingly very predictable that the Bucks will win, they did a good job here building the Bucks versus Private Party, putting over how the rookies beat the Jacksons this time last year. The token women's match saw Shida defend her title against Big Swole. It was decent, but the division again lacked the same care and focus given to literally everything else in the promotion. They went 9 minutes, a third of which was a picture-in-picture ad break, and Shida beat Swole with 2 running knees. Sean Spears got a video promo on Scorpio Sky, and then after brawling backstage twice earlier in the show, our Lance Archer versus Jon Moxley main event was made a no DQ match, making the Eddie Kingston family's looming presence on commentary even more threatening, but nowhere near as intimidating as Archer's spiky helmet, which he'd previously worn for his US title match against Mox in New Japan. The feud had cooled off a bit due to COVID delays, but both men immediately picked it up again, with Mox hitting a paradigm shift for a 2 count as soon as the bell rang. Mox would hit 2 more paradigm shifts, including one off the apron through 2 tables, which also only got him near falls. John, it's not very effective. After a really exciting hardcore brawl, Lance hit the blackout, but Mox reversed the pin into one of his own to retain in a great main event. And then on AEW's anniversary show, the big cliffhanger angle was with a guy who wasn't even supposed to be signed. In the last 5 years, who has taken an opportunity better than Eddie Kingston, getting over in a one-off match with Cody, and then just a few months later is signed by AEW full-time, has his own faction which includes the Lucha Bros, is now recognized as one of the best promo guys in a company full of great promo guys, and is feuding for the top title. Kingston congratulated Mox on winning, then hit a sick back fist and choked him out looking right down the camera in what is presumably building to an I Quit match. What did you think of AEW Dynamite? Let me know in the comments down below because I'll be replying to people from out of my new really good shoulders. This was an incredibly solid episode for AEW, really showing how far the promotion has come from its first episode a year ago. It's almost emotional in a way watching your little baby grow like this, and to see them tweak, adapt, get people over, keep people over, swells my little marky heart with both pride and joy. This week's Dynamite is 4 out of 5. Lukewarm Luke Owen has ranked every WWE draft trade. Click the video on the right to see what's best and what's the worst, and find out what happened on last night's Quizzlemania, where Luke and I defended our tag titles against the Good Brothers, Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson, by clicking the video below that. I've been Mr. Davis. Jam that jam.